Hi, and welcome to the lesson on adjustments to arrive at adjusted gross income. Adjustments to arrive at AGI are one of the most important topics on the CPA regulation exam, and the good news is they're actually not very difficult. There's not that many of them, and the rules related to them are quite logical and not difficult. So in this lesson, we are going to talk about adjustments from a big picture. We're going to show you where they fit into the taxation big picture, and we're going to show you every single adjustment. We actually have a great memory power image which shows you every single adjustment in one simple, easy to remember image. So if you just keep that image in your head, you're going to be very easily remember every question they ask you in the CPA exam about an adjustment. You're going to know whether it's an adjustment or not. Then we're going to go through all the adjustments one by one so you know the rules related to them. So again, if there's a question on the CPA exam about an adjustment, and there will be questions about adjustments, there always are, you're going to know the rules and you're going to get those questions right. So if you study this lesson a couple times, you're going to get all the questions right on the CPA exam about adjustments. You're going to know them really well, and you're not going to need to spend more time focusing in this area. You can focus on other areas. So you get every point on the adjustments. So with that being said, let's go ahead and continue and start the lesson and study the adjustments. Here are the topics we're going to cover in this lesson. 1. Overview. What are adjustments to arrive at AGI? 2. Where do adjustments to arrive at AGI fit into the individual tax big picture? We always show you the big picture in all of our lessons, so you know what part of the exam you are studying. Is it credits? Is it deductions? Is it exemptions? Is it income? In this case, it's adjustments. We're very clear about that, but we also cover where it overlaps with other areas, primarily gross income. We'll go through an overview of all the adjustments. We have a great memory power image which shows every single adjustment in one single picture, one simple picture. So you can very, very easily memorize all the adjustments. You should memorize your normal way as well, but also use this picture to help you, and you're going to know it. We're going to go through the details about each adjustment, and then conclusion. So first of all, what are adjustments to arrive at AGI? They are adjustments which reduce gross income, resulting in adjusted gross income. Where do adjustments to arrive at AGI fit into the individual tax big picture? As described in several lessons, the overall individual tax big picture is start with gross income, less adjustments to arrive at AGI, that's what we're studying right now, equals adjusted gross income. Less standard deductions or itemized deductions, less exemptions, equals taxable income. Times the tax rate equals the tax payable. Less credits equals your final tax payable. So you can see that adjustments are the second step in this process. You start with gross income, then you do adjustments, and you end up with adjusted gross income. Okay, now we've covered the big picture of adjustments to arrive at AGI. Let's look at an overview of all the adjustments. As I mentioned, we have a great memory power image to help you with these adjustments. We worked very hard on this. We've got every single adjustment in one picture, just one easy to remember scene. So frequently the exam is going to ask you about a certain item and ask you whether it's an adjustment or a credit or a deduction. So if you just keep this picture in your head, you're going to find it extremely easy to remember every item that is an adjustment. So for example, if they ask you, is combat pay an adjustment? You can remember there's no combat pay, no combat here in this picture, so it's not an adjustment. But if they ask you if moving expenses are an adjustment, you can remember very easily the moving truck right in the center of the picture. This is visual learning. You use it in addition to all your other learning, and it will help you a lot. Okay, let's go through the adjustments one by one. We have them in 7 categories and some subcategories. So starting at the top, there's self-employed adjustments. There's 4 of those. There's business adjustments. There's health insurance expenses, employment tax, 50% of that, and retirement contributions to the IRA. So all of those are potentially adjustments to arrive at AGI. As we start, let's remind ourselves, all of these are basically payments you're making, and they're potentially reductions in your adjusted gross income, which means you sort of get compensated for making the payments. That's kind of the concept behind this. Next category is employee adjustments. So reimbursed business expenses, potentially you can adjust out of your AGI. Alimony expenses. We've got a whole lesson on alimony. Alimony expenses can be an adjustment to arrive at AGI if they meet the criteria. So see the alimony lesson, you'll know that one for sure. Okay, moving expenses. Moving expenses is always tested on the exam. Very clear-cut description of what is allowed as an adjustment, what's not. So that's potential adjustment. Education expenses, we put those in three items in this category: tuition and fee expenses adjustment, student loan interest expense adjustment, and educator expenses. So that's where you're a teacher, not a student. Those are the three education categories, potentially adjustments to AGI. Financial adjustments, there's HSA contributions, financial early withdrawal penalties, and financial retirement plan contributions. So again, remember, all these are money coming out of your pocket, and they could therefore reduce your income and reduce your tax payable. Okay, that's the big picture. Final category, miscellaneous adjustments, jury duty pay remitted to employer, you're paying money, discrimination lawsuit expenses, and domestic production activity expenses. So those are all the adjustment to arrive at AGI items. They're all in the image here, and we're going to go through all of them in detail. So that's all the adjustments. Now, if you get a question on the exam asking about any of these items, you're going to know that they're an adjustment as opposed to a credit or a deduction or anything else. You're going to know them all. So now you know the big picture. Now let's go through each adjustment in detail so you know any rules you need to know for the CPA exam. So that is the end of this sample lesson. Go to CPA Planet, cpa-planet.com, for the complete AGI lesson, for the alimony lesson, for the gross income lesson, so you can see how it all ties together, and you will get every single point on the CPA exam. See you there.